Hello everyone, welcome back to another Cupid Parasite with Shelby Snail. I think it's a midnight secret kiss. Anyway, I decided to just record this since it was already in the Switch and I didn't feel like changing cartridges. Also, it's funny and I don't know, I'm in the mood for some comedy today, so. Upon returning from Demore Paradise, we embarked on research to understand what our employees wanted. We held discussions with colleagues who stayed and sought honest opinions from new hires, pinpointing their likes and dislikes. Why did they join Cupid Corp? Why did they stay at Cupid Corp? And why did some choose to leave? We interspersed this investigation with our usual tasks, aiming to uncover each of these reasons. Our employees wanted to make Cupid Corp a better company. They aimed to ensure our customers enjoyed happy marriages. And a few days later, Shelby and I returned to Demore Paradise for another inspection. We revisited areas we'd missed during our honeymoon and ventured to the cave at the edge of the island, somewhere in the ocean lied by Parrot's Temple. As we looked out at the sea beside,
こうして改めてこの島を巡ると優れている点ばかりが目につくな。
I know, if you go to that marriage agency, you can take a vacation at the same time. It's got a good location, that's for sure.
施設の並び順も相当練られているはずだ。多角経営で培ったノウハウを駆使して露店やレストラン、カフェが最適な場所、タイミングで目に入るように設計されている。顧客の行動をパターン化して膨大なデータをもとに設計されているのだろう。
It appears that all the employees are given the liberty to enjoy Demore Paradise whenever they wish among their benefits.
ああ、遊びか。これこそ私には足りなかった視点だな。
That's quite the perk.
そもそも自分には他人をもっと理解しようという姿勢が足りなかったのかもしれないな。つい自分と同じように考えてしまっていた。だから依頼オマールに出し抜かれたのだろう。あの男はやり手だからな。
Shelby, you're a workaholic, but our company is full of passionate individuals. You're not alone. People's mind can change on a daily basis. That applies to both work and love.
そうか。確かに一日ごとに考えは変わるものか。
Shelby looked at me, a soft smile on his face.
そうだな。私もお前に出会わなければ結婚したいと思えていなかっただろうしな。
Me too.
そうなのか。
Oh, really? Yes, if I hadn't fallen in love with you, I probably wouldn't have. I halted, realizing I was about to mention returning to Celestia. I wasn't sure he would believe me. As I looked down, I felt Shelby smile.
言ってくれ。
But you might not believe me. It's about being Cupid.
もうお前がキューピッドだったという話を否定しないと約束する。もちろん完全に理解したとは言えないが、お前はむやみに嘘をつくような人間ではないと知っているつもりだ。私はお前を信じている。だから信じられるはずだ。
Shelby.
聞かせてくれ。お前は私と結婚しなかったらどうしていたんだ？
He gently asked me, so I hesitantly responded. If I didn't marry you, Shelby, I likely would have returned to Celestia. I did my best to explain to Shelby why I had left Celestia. I discussed how for centuries I tirelessly shot my Cupid's arrows. Yet the rates of the marriage continued to decline. The gods saw this as an issue in need of resolution. Then I stumbled upon Cupid Corp, which Shelby had established. That discovery shocked me. And it was the first time I questioned whether matchmaking was really required divine intervention. That led to a massive argument with my father. He resisted the innovative methods humans had made for matchmaking. I felt the need to prove humans could effectively handle it too. Destiny became my obsession, driving me towards a promotion, and consequently I became the top bridal advisor in my second year. Being promoted to the top bridal advisor at Cupid Corp allowed me to fulfill my purpose. If I achieved my goal, I might have returned to Celestia then.
そうだったのか。なるほど。
He said that so timidly.
一度話を整理させてくれ。深海というのはこの空の上にあるのか？
Well, not entirely, but it's located where humans can't see.
人間には見えない。つまり光学迷彩か何かなのか？あ、いや、それではぶつかってしまうか。それでお前がキューピッドということはつまり私より年上だったのか？
Is he gonna get hung up on that? Because that would be kind of funny. Well, yes. But I came to the human realm right before college, so in human years I would be still 6.
6歳?
You're married to a 6-year-old. But I did witness the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, so I'm not exactly 6 either. Can we just forget about the age thing?
そうだな。お前はお前だ。深く考えないようにしておくとしよう。だが、これからはきちんとお前がキューピッドだったことに向き合うようにする。お前のことをもっと知っていきたいんだ。いろいろと教えてもらっていいか？
Yes.
ありがとう。
He's adorable. Shelby smiled at me, a look full of warmth and understanding, signaling it didn't matter whether I was Cupid or not. He was making the effort to believe in things he had once thought impossible. Even if he couldn't fully believe, it was enough for me that he was trying. At that moment, the sound of the ocean waves drew my attention, and I looked out to the sea where I noticed a gleam beneath the surface. In the distance, I spotted what looked like a white rock, perhaps the temples for my parents. The majestic structures paired with the stunning ocean view took my breath away. It's beautiful.
そうだな。
He stood beside me, wrapping his arm around my shoulders.
きっとこんな場所で婚活する人たちはいい思い出ができてオマールウェディングに感謝するだろうな。成婚率もきっとそのうち CC を抜く。
His arm around my shoulder reminded me of a past moment. There had been a night out before we officially started dating when he had embraced me similarly. He had still been an advisor and a man seeking marriage at the time, so he had used the pretext of it being practice to go on a date. The atmosphere had been just right, and we had nearly shared a kiss, but it hadn't happened. If Shelby had been a little braver, if I had recognized my feelings sooner, perhaps we would have kissed that night. I think he was falling for her at this point, though. Pretty sure. More parodies have the power to create such an atmosphere. That was why advisors needed to tread carefully in their matchmaking. It was important to prevent members from rushing into marriage in the heat of the moment only to later regret it. Indeed, the marriage success rates might rise, but I'm not sure that's always a good thing.
どういうことだ?
Because it's so enchanting, you might let the atmosphere cloud your judgment, causing you to misinterpret your feelings. Turning around, I stood on my tiptoes and gave Shelby a quick peck on the lips.
何を?
Doesn't it feel more thrilling than when we do it at home?
おう、確かにそうだな。
That's what I'm saying. If matchmaking happens in a place like this, every meeting could feel like a dreamy romance. While the success rate of marriage might increase, an advisor's job isn't just about the numbers. We work tirelessly to ensure couples find happiness not just in marriage but even after. I let the memories of my time as a bridal advisor wash over me as I looked at the ocean waves. You might fall in love due to a temporary infatuation, but eventually reality sets in. That's why advisors should always be honest with their clients. We shouldn't encourage a fleeting romance that could lead to a breakup. Since I was Cupid, I wished for their happiness not only during their romantic journey, but also after marriage. The kind of matchmaking I aspire to promotes enduring love that persists for decades.
そうか。本当にお前は縁結びが好きなんだな。
Yes, because I was Cupid.
あ、そうだったな。
He acknowledged me with a smile and we shared another kiss. We enjoyed that romantic kiss by the quiet seashore. Anyone would fall in love with this sort of environment. Even though I wasn't working for Cupid Corp anymore, I found it hard to be wholly supportive of Omar Wedding's approach. But you're his secretary. You're still in the company. So I wondered deeply about what I could do for the sake of Cupid Corp and Lost Yorkers. I think it was just misinterpreted wrong. A few days later, I found Rao in the president's office for an unexpected reason.
そうそう、よく知ってるね。神話でキューピッドは軍神アレースとアフロディーテの子供って言われてるんだ。あ、アレースっていうのがさっきのマーズで、アフロディーテがヴィーナスね。
ああ、そこは本で読んだ。
When is he discussing mythology for with the president?
で、なんだっけ、いつからキューピッドの記述が出てくるかだっけ。それには諸説があって、ボッタチェリはってあれ、先生だ、久しぶり。
Good evening, Rao. What brings you here?
実はシェルビーから神話について聞きたいって連絡をもらったんだ。
Oh, that's cute. He wants to learn more about us. He called him the expert. Shelby did.
ああ、神話を知るための参考文献をメールで聞いただけなんだが、直接講義をしに来てくれたんだ。
I know. What'd you expect?
あのシェルビーが神話に興味持つなんて嬉しくて、たくさん文献持ってきちゃった。俺も7番街で仕事あったしさ、ちょうどいいなって思ってきたんだ。
Oh, really? So Shelby went and asked Rao about mythologies. Shelby must have sought out Rao to deepen his understanding of mythology, something he previously had shown no interest in. He was making an effort to understand Cupid, Mars, and Venus. That revelation made me exceedingly happy. Curious about his learning progress, I decided to test him. Oh, I think I remember. It's asking him about Psych. But let me see if it's the same real quick. I don't think so. Okay, I'm gonna ask him about Jupiter first if I see what he says. Do you know about Lord Jupiter?
ああ、雷を操るディーコンセンテスの主神だろう。巨人族との戦い、ギガントマキアや最終決戦でも勝利を収め、世界に調和をもたらした。
Look at that look on his face when he says it.
一方で、数多くの女神、人間の女性に手を出しており、妻ジュノーは常にジュピターの行動を見張っていたとされている。神話を学ぶにあたり、一番最初にラウルに教えてもらった知識だ。ここを抑えることが重要だと言われてな。
I'm impressed with Shelby's newfound knowledge. I'm sure he's made a genuine effort to memorize all the information Ra has given him. I know, SS and everything, right? So he's going to commit it to memory. Besides him, Ra was nodding approvingly. That's correct. Lord Jupiter, being the supreme god, had countless tales attributed to him.
そのようだな。まだ覚えるべきことがたくさんある。時間が足りないな。
シェルビーのペースで楽しく覚えていけばいいんだよ。で、先生はジュピターに様をつけて呼んでるんだね。わかるよ。偉大な神だもんね。尊敬しちゃうよね。
Oh, that's just because she's been used to it for the last 400 years. Alright, we're gonna ask him about Psyche. Or Psyche. Do you know about Psyche?
プシュケ。いや、すまない。まだ履修していない。
You fail.
あ、今日持ってきた本の中にちゃんと載ってるよ。簡単に説明すると、美の女神ヴィーナスが妬むほどの美人プシュケとキューピッドの恋のお話で、キューピッドは神だとバレないように夜の寝室でしかプシュケに会わなかったんだ。でも2人は深い愛で結ばれたんだよ。
Does Shelby know that Cupid is portrayed as a man in most of these? I'm curious.
キューピッドはプシュケと愛し合っているのか
Shelby turned to me with a nervous expression, probably picturing me with Psyche. No, I know nothing about any Psyche. Most of the stories related to Cupid are fictional. Besides, in the story, Cupid is portrayed as a young man.
確かにそうだな。では愛し合った事実はないということだな。
No. Yes, this is my first time in the human realm. You're the only one I've fallen in love with, Shelby. Don't worry. Why are you saying this out loud?
私だけそうかそうかそれは何よりだ。
Is Raul gonna catch that?
二人で何こそこそ話してるの？冥界に行くぐらいプシケがキューピッドを愛してた話？
冥界深海だけではなく冥界までもが実在するというのか。
And Shelby's not picking up on the fact that Raul is calling Cupid she. Shelby looked completely confused.
もちろんだよ。深海と冥界は表裏一体なんだ。もっと話してたいんだけど、俺撮影の時間になっちゃった。ってことでこれ課題図書ね。じゃあまた話そうね。気になることあったらいつでも聞いて。
I was actually curious about something Raul said in the last one, but I thought it was going to pick back up.
ああ、今日は勉強になった。ありがとう、ラウル。
俺も楽しかったから大丈夫だよ。じゃあね、バイ。
Let's go back up for a second.
って先生はジュピターに様をつけて呼んでるんだね。わかるよ。偉大な神だもんね。尊敬しちゃうよね。
What should you say to that? The Raul had caught on to my habitual use of the word Lord. Oh, right, Lord Jupiter. He's indeed a formidable god. I thought it appropriate to address him that way.
会社組織と同じだな。リネットはそれが身についているのだろう。
Shelby's attempt to support me was charmingly typical of him. I couldn't help but smile.
神話を会社組織に当てはめて考えるのはありかもね。もっと話してたいんだけど、俺撮影の時間になっちゃった。
Okay, well there you go.
ああ、今日は勉強になった。ありがとう。
俺も楽しかったから大丈夫だよ。じゃあね、バイ。
Is he going to talk about it further? Because that would be funny. After leaving a mountain of books on the table, Raul left. Shelby cleared his throat and moved the pile of books to a corner of the room a little awkwardly.
では改めて社内の福利厚生について相談させてもらえるか？
Employee benefits. Why are you blushing then? Of course. There's no need for him to hide it. Watching Shelby stash away the mythology books reminded me of his past purchases like virility supplements and a soft-shell turtle. Typical of his reserved nature, he didn't like to show when he was trying hard to excel at something. Yet knowing that he's engaging in research makes me happy. As those thoughts went through my mind, Shelby picked up a document from a stack of papers.
では早速これを見てくれ。お前の意見も踏まえて福利厚生を見直した案だ。
Let's see. The document Shelby had prepared was thorough and well structured.
社員のワークライフバランスの改善や QOL、クオリティオブライフの向上に会社が協力する方向で考えている。
Everything from salaries to work hours, facility benefits, and even rent payment assistance is mentioned here. One of the best parts is access to the gym on 7th Avenue.
本当か？
Yes, a lot of my coworkers go, but many of them have issues with the distance and equipment. This perk would address those problems. But this part about changing the employee cafe's menu daily isn't necessary.
そうなのか。
Yes, everyone is satisfied with the current menu. Some people even have routines built around it. I think you should keep this as a base and modify it. Instead of completely overhauling the menu, how about offering more choices?
自由度を。
Yes, for instance, some people may not want salads while others want only salads. You could accommodate this by... You should consider this segment on work hours. It's promising, but... That was how our conversation flowed as we deliberated over the company's benefits. Of course, it was only a draft. The intent was to have further discussions and gather feedback before finalizing the document. By the time we managed to reach a consensus, night had already enveloped the day. Phew, we finally done it. At the sight of me standing up and stretching, Shelby let out a sigh.
なるほど、勉強になった。やはり現場の考えを聞かないと認識にズレが生じるな。机上の空論ではなく、企業の実情に合わせた施策であるべきだな。危うく私の自己満足になってしまうところだった。助かった。ありがとう。
That's good to hear. It hasn't been long since I worked on the ground level myself. It's surprising how much my perspective has changed. With these benefits in place, it's tempting to return to an advisor role. I think this will be fine.
そうか。やはりまた現場に戻りたいか。
Well, I enjoy considering the company as a whole, but I must admit I miss interacting daily with our customers.
そうか。
Oh.
わかった。ならやはり戻れるように。
Hold on, I do miss the ground level, but could you give me some time to decide whether I really want to return?
戻りたいんじゃないのか。
Well, I mean, there's benefits to being the boss's secretary too, right? It's a tough decision because I like both. Also, he's your husband, so...
そうなのか。
Yes, the work I'm doing now is valuable, and I enjoy being by your side, Shelby. I know, especially when he works like all day and all night. Also, but... So, even though... I don't know, maybe it's not a thing in Japan, but... having, like... you know, marriages within the company, or in this case, your wife is your secretary, that could be frowned upon and seen as favoritism, but I already mentioned that in a previous video. I probably shouldn't have said I wanted to go back to working on the ground level. The truth is I like both. So can we keep things the way they are for the time being?
リネット。もちろんだ。だが現場に戻りたくなったらいつでもすぐに教えてくれ。お前に本音を隠される方が辛いからな。
Absolutely, I'll consult with you immediately. I nodded and the atmosphere seemed to lighten.
あの時は本当にすまなかった。お前の不満に気づけなくて。
Oh, he's still caught up on the fight. No need, Shelby. I appreciate you listening to me.
なあ。
Shelby stood and extended his arm towards me. I moved into his embrace.
リネット。
I love you, Shelby.
ああ、私もだ。
He wrapped his arms around my back and patted me affectionately. Moments later, he lifted my chin up and our lips met in a kiss. And soon it deepened. Shelby. Feeling anxious, I pushed against his chest, but he pulled me close once more. Before I knew, I was being lifted and placed onto his desk. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with you? You've already been walked in once, man. Don't risk it. This is known as abuse of power. Huh?
リネット。
I thought he was sitting me on his desk, but then he placed his hands on either side of me, blocking any escape. I tried to slide off, but he silenced my protest with a kiss.
リネット。
Shelby, it turned him on all of a sudden. I don't understand. They were just talking about employee benefits. I tried to ask him to slow down, but his onslaught of passionate kisses left me breathless. I reached for support, my arms encircling his neck. It only seemed to draw him closer, his embrace tightening around me. Shelby was leaning over me from above, his wild kisses never ceasing.
ダメだな。最近 こらえしょうがない。
You know there's a couch in your room, right? I'm pretty sure I saw a couch in your room. There's no need to be on the desk. Loosening his tie with one hand, the sound of the sliding fabric sent my heart racing. Wait, Shelby, right here?
どのフロアの人間ももう帰っている時間だろう。
Is your window at least closed? The clock did confirm that it was past midnight, but still I wasn't convinced it was a good idea. Can we continue this at home?
お前が教えてくれたことだろ
Taught you what?
う。ダムールパラディの岬でキスをした時の話だ。
That's really funny. Okay, so yeah, it could be more exciting in a new, unfamiliar place. I've even thought about this, but it is really embarrassing to attempt anything out of the normal. But I don't really want to talk about my past experiences. I recalled making that comment in jest, how the location made my heart pound more than when we kissed at home. Sure, the setting was significant, but I never thought he'd take it so seriously. That may be true, but before I could raise my concerns about someone showing up, my words were cut off by Shelby's playful laughter and a touch on my lips.
なら、エレベーターのロックをかけておく。
Did you lock an elevator? Maybe you can. He's locking it with the computer. Shelby slid his fingers over the keyboard and remotely put a lock on the elevator. His quick action guaranteed no interruptions. Left without any further objections, I watched as a playful smile lit up Shelby's face. It definitely makes things more interesting when you're not in the bedroom for a change.
これで問題ないはずだ。
Shelby.
リネット、愛している。
Shelby's smile was sweeter than I'd ever seen during our work hours. He leaned in to kiss my neck. Tickled by his breath touch, I attempted to pull my shoulders away, but Shelby held me with both arms, exploring my neck with his tongue. Perhaps the soft-shelled turtle influence was stronger than we thought. Was there more to it than just enhancing his capabilities? Shelby was diligent. It's funny, I actually asked my husband about soft-shelled turtles, so he just nodded. Like, so he's looked into them in the past too. I'm like, I had no idea, but I guess that's to be expected. Shelby was diligent and always thorough, which led me to believe he had likely taken precautions against any adverse effects. His impatience was probably a side effect. My goodness, so much breathing. His kiss was slightly more forceful than it had been during our honeymoon. His lips moved lower. It was hard to imagine Shelby, the office workaholic, behaving like this, especially not in the office. But there's a window there. People can see. I know, right?
見せつけてやれ。シェルビー・スネイルは愛妻家なのだからな。
Did you just say that? Oh my goodness. I mean, some people like that. I don't know. People like when they think people can see it. Dang, Shelby, you're a wild one. Embracing on his work desk, we were engaging in anything but work. The elevator doors might have been locked, but there was still the window. The thrill of possibly being seen ignited an even greater passion. Oh my goodness, why? I would be so embarrassed. We knew we shouldn't, but we couldn't stop ourselves. We were lost in the thrill, intoxicated like a newly dating couple. Oh my. Hurricane Catherine. Oh no. It'll be a hurricane. It's been 33 minutes. I'm gonna keep going. So I knew there was an office scene because I read the review early and it said that there was a lot of this stuff in Shelby's route, and it mentioned an office and another specific spot, which hasn't come up yet either. Oh my goodness. Anyway, the following morning. He still goes to this place? This is supposed to be a singles apartment. We didn't leave the office until 2 a.m. Exhausted, we returned to our 8th Avenue home for the first time in what felt like forever. I'm sleepy. 2 a.m. I was like, well, he said past midnight, but how far past midnight? I mean, that's a long time to play around. Still, I guess he's under the pretense that he's not married if he still has this spot. The alarm blared at 5 a.m. Shelby was always cramming too much into his schedule, so he had an early morning meeting. He was dressed and ready in the blink of an eye.
すまない。起こしたな。
Dang, he only got 3 hours of sleep. I'm fine. I'll head to the office too.
いや、お前はまだ寝ていてくれ。無理させすぎたからな。
I know you're early in the morning sex advances.
お前の好きなグレーマウンテンの豆をひいてコーヒーメーカーに入れてある。起きたら飲んでくれ。
That's sweet of you, but what about your meeting?
私一人で大丈夫だ。仕事は何とかするから、今日は午前休を取ればいい。
He kissed me on the forehead and left the bed. After a few more minutes of getting ready, he was out the door. I better get up too. I was incredibly sleepy. After last night's activities with Shelby, getting up wasn't exactly easy. Despite our late night, Shelby was his usual energetic self this morning. He told me to take the morning off, so maybe I should. I'll have some of that coffee Shelby prepared for me and have a sleep. I reset the alarm before burying my face back into my fluffy, high-quality pillow. I was enveloped in Shelby's sit, which coaxed me back into a world of dreams. See, here's one of the perks of being married to the boss, right? He's like, you know what? Take the morning off because, for reasons.
いや、可愛すぎるだろ。
Oh my goodness, man. As I walked to work, I found myself grinning at the thought of how cute my wife was.
コーヒー豆の香りで冷静になろうと引いてみたが、全く効果はなかったぞ。それどころか、寝ぼけながら喜ぶ顔がここまでたまらないとは。
Why'd you take, like, Superman pills? She was irresistible the night before, and her sleepy expression in the morning made me want to abandon all of my work just to be with her. Of course, I maintained my iron will for self-control.
それに、ダムール・パラディの件が何も解決していないからな。
We managed to stem the poaching of our employees, but the superior service remained a threat. We didn't tackle the problem head on. They keep trying to steal our staff.
だから、あの件が落ち着くまでは、仕事、仕事、仕事だ。仕事のことだけを考えるんだ。
At the moment my focus wavered, my thoughts always returned to her. The happiness of being married to her constantly filled my mind. Each day with her deepened my love. It was a feeling I never experienced before.
確かに、イーライ・オマールの言うことにも一理ある。
He had the purpose that if I gave up my company, I'd have more time with my wife and considerable financial security. He was a skilled negotiator. However, after assessing the company's structure and discussing it with Lynette, we'd begun implementing changes.
あと、空いた時間でキューピッドについても調べないとな。
Lynette says she used to be Cupid. It's unthinkable that she would lie. I wanted to believe her, which was why I was intent on researching the matter.
と、考え込んでいる時間はないな。
The time to be thinking about what? Lynette? Checking my watch, I quickened my pace towards the office. Did that just fade out into a heart? I think it did. As I arrived, my mind was inevitably pulled back to the previous night's events. I know. Now you're going to have images every time you go into your office. Look, there's a couch right there. The memory made it twice as hard to concentrate at work. Well, that's your own fault. Welcome back, Shelby. Every time she visits you in the office now, you're just going to have thoughts. You shouldn't have done that.
ああ、ただいま。
Already embarrassed, huh? That day, we managed to leave work earlier than usual and planned to meet at our First Avenue home. You have a first, an 8th, and a 7th, right? We promised on the way home to make dinner together. I finished preparing for dinner, so can you get changed?
Ah.
Shelby replied with a timid smile as he retreated to the bedroom. I noticed he was carrying a few mythology books. Is he getting a lecture from Ral again? Is that why he told me to go home first today? Recently, Shelby had been receiving mythology lessons from Ral whenever he found time. He also started asking me various questions about Cupid, about my former life as a deity and what happened since I arrived in the human realm. I told him to learn the general background. He seemed slightly annoyed, but quickly conceded that it was necessary. I didn't expect him to ask me so many questions. He'd argued a lot when we first revealed my past to him. Perhaps that confrontation led him to work through his incompatible views. Even in such a short amount of time, he'd been doing his best to spend time together and understand my perspective. Since we both held certain non-negotiable values, we worked hard to understand each other better. Our busy lives sometimes threw our routines off balance, but we were finally finding time for one another. That's why I was putting extra effort into making tonight's dinner. As I set the table, Shelby returned to the living room, now dressed in a more comfortable attire.
すごいな。どれも美味しそうだ。ロールキャベツにビーフストロガノフ。どれも作るのに時間かかっただろう。これは
Is it soft shell turtle? His gaze settled on another dish. Okay. Chocolate mint donuts. Ugh. I hate mint so much. Alright, so the Thai stir fry is correct. So we're going to talk about the chocolate mint donuts. Oh, I didn't make that one. They're from a donut shop called Mo Donuts on 7th Avenue that's been getting popular. It was late after work, so that's the only flavor they had left. You're okay with chocolate mint, right? Knowing he occasionally enjoyed mojitos, I figured mint wouldn't be a problem.
ああ、ミントが好きだからな。大丈夫だ。
Great, I hope you save some for dessert, but it might be a bit heavy after dinner. It was a full-size donut, probably better served as a snack than a dessert following a meal.
大丈夫だ。しっかりデザートにいただこう。わざわざ仕事終わりに買いに行ってくれたんだろ。何よりその気持ちが嬉しいからな。
Great, then let's eat.
ああ、ありがとう。
Let's eat. You already said that.
いただきます。
As we began our meal, Shelby grinned. Alright, let's go back up.
ロールキャベツに
It's going to be Thai stir fry. I made this based on what I saw at the night market street food at Des Moines Paradis. I know things are complicated because of Eli Omar, but I want us to remember that island fondly. That's why I tried to recreate it at home. I did it from memory, so I can't guarantee it'll taste as good.
そうか。私にとってもあの時間は大切な思い出だ。あの時を忘れたことはない。だからまたあのように過ごせるよう私も最善を尽くそう。とはいえすぐにでもというのは難しいからな。こうして料理を通して思い出させてくれて感謝している。前進するためのスパイスになりそうだ。
I'm glad you like it. Now let's eat before it goes cold.
ああ、ありがとう。
Let's eat.
いただきます。
As we begin our meal, Shelby grinned.
うん。ああ、うまいな。
Shelby smiled happily as he scarfed down dinner. It had been a long time since we were able to share a meal so casually. Food sure tastes better when we eat together.
そうだな。すごく美味しい。こうして食事をとるのも久しぶりのような気がするな。
It definitely has. You've only been having your jelly drink lately.
そうだな。 つい癖でそうしてしまっていた。
Shelby, I worry about you skipping meals when you're busy with work, but I'm glad you're eating okay. You're eating today.
すまない。お前にばかり苦労をかけているな。
No, Shelby, I know how much you care about me and the company. Don't worry about it.
リネット。幸せ者だな、私は。
Your sincerity brought a laugh for me. Brought out a laugh. You're so dramatic.
大げさなものか。真面目にそう思っている。
I know, if anyone's dramatic, it's Ellen.
だから私もお前を幸せにしたい。もう少し待ってくれ。
Wait for what? Sure. He was currently trying to deal with Omar Wedding at Demore Paradise. We brainstormed countermeasures together, but Shelby was clearly preparing for a bigger battle. He just asked me to trust him, and that was what I intended to do. I believed in Shelby, so I knew things wouldn't turn out for the worse. After dinner, we settled onto the sofa to watch the news. It had been a while since we turned on the TV. I usually caught up on news via YouTube or Instagram and went to the theater for movies. The broadcast felt somewhat refreshing until a familiar word caught my attention.
はーい、今日はあの話題のダムールパラディからのリポートをお届けします。
The news is going to ruin their mood.
新しくオープンしてから連日大盛り上がりのダムールパラディですが、なんとさらに拡張の計画が立っているとのことです。計画ではこちらの島の先端にある岬の先を埋め立て、さらに楽しめる施設を増やすそうです。遊園地か水族館が新たにできるかもと噂されています。ますますの発展に期待が高まりますね。
拡張計画か。相変わらず手広くやろうとしているな。で、そんなに青ざめてどうした？
Probably because they're going to excavate into the ocean where her parents' temples are. Isn't that where the temple of Mom and Dad are located?
神殿？ああ、そういえば先日お会いした時におっしゃっていたな。その神殿というのは神々にとってそれほど重要なものなのか？
Yes, they are. Dad always says there's no greater joy than feeling the faith of the people. That's why in ancient times they would descend to the human realm to help the people. I'm not sure when, but at some point they stopped directly interfering with the humans.
そうか。ギリシャ神話というのはなかなか奥深いな。だがギリシャには今もまだ多くの神殿が残っているだろう。それではダメなのか？
I thought so too, but Dad has a lot of pride. If he knows they're intentionally trying to destroy it, he will definitely get angry. What do I do about this? I was reminded of my dad's previous fits. If land reclamation ended up burying his temple, he'd unleash his anger in a monumental scale. Uh-oh, is that why there's going to be a tsunami? Not tsunami, hurricane? And when Mom gets mad, she really gets mad. On the TV, footage and ships dumping gravel into the sea showed the island expansion was already underway. What do I do? Just don't let it be the same location as Mom and Dad's temple. But my prayers seemed to fall on deaf ears. The next morning, a torrential downpour, accompanied by strong winds, confined us to our homes.
すごいハリケーンだな。
Yeah, all the transportation is stopped and the roads are closed.
しかし昨晩の天気予報では晴れだったはずだが、昨今の予報の精度でこんなに当たらないことなどあるのか？
Shelby, eagerly puzzled, turned on the TV for the news. The screen flashed with breaking news alert about the hurricane.
This is a report on the sudden hurricane, Catherine. Catherine is localizing its assault on Lost York and has brought flooding to an island in Demore Paradise. All transportation is being affected.
ダムールパラディが洪水に
Did you see the shape of the clouds on the news just now?
ああ、妙な形をしていたな。ロサンヨークとパラディ島だけを覆っていたようだが。
Yep, the gods are mad. This has to be caused by the land reclamation of the temples.
は
When Mom gets mad, she fires off Hurricane Catherine. The related places always flood. Is it always called Hurricane Catherine? I remembered the last time Dad fell in love with the vacuum cleaner. Lost York had seen rain then too, but since her anger was directed at Dad, the weather hadn't been as severe. But Mom, being the goddess of beauty, holds great power among the gods of the diconstants. So can everyone control rain? Like, Venus controls rain. I don't know if it was Ra or if it was Minerva that was causing a storm then. Jupiter can cause lightning and thunder. Maybe not rain, but it did rain whenever Chi was eating Kagura's food. So all the gods can cause rain. We should never make her angry. The gods must never be disregarded. It would be even worse if Dad got angry. What should I do? Paradise Island is being targeted with the floods. It's obvious that Mom is mad about the land reclamation.
そうか。お前から嵐を起こさないように連絡することはできないのか。
Alright, let me try calling them. Recalling that Mom and Dad had recently gotten smartphones, I dialed their numbers. After a few rings, Mom answered. Mom, are you okay? I saw on TV about the plans to do the reclamation over where your temple is.
そうなの。私の神殿が埋め立てられちゃったのよ。だから今抗議のハリケーンを起こしてるところよ。
So this hurricane was your doing after all.
だってあんなに美しい私の神殿を無粋に埋め立てるなんて本当に許せないじゃない。
I don't think it's my headphones, but her audio is going all kinds of nuts on that phone. That may be true, but I wish she didn't cause hurricanes, as if she was filing a complaint to the call center or something.
私きっと海底トンネルでも作られて美しいシースポットになると思って楽しみにしてたのよ。それなのに待っていたのは埋め立て。もう許せないわよ。ハリケーンを起こして阻止するしかないわ。しかもこの後はマーズの神殿の位置まで埋め立てようとしてるだなんて。マーズ、私を慰めて。
Comfort. Mama loaded all her grievances and then abruptly hung up. It was clear from her tirade that her temple was being desecrated, and she just summoned the hurricane in retaliation. Her temple must have been the one they buried yesterday.
つまり埋め立てを止めればいいということか。そうすればこのハリケーンが消えると。
Debbie seemed confused, yet he made an effort to comprehend the situation. The notion that Mom had triggered the hurricane seemed absurd to a human's perspective, yet Shelby was trying to believe it. Gathering my courage, I nodded in agreement. Yes, if they halt the land reclamation and safeguard my Mom's temple, she will cease her wrath. Mom is creating the hurricane as a form of protest. I hope this will deter the expansion plans.
あの男はこの程度で諦めたりはしないだろうな。
Chubby's voiced his doubts as he checked the news on his phone. Flooding forced us to temporarily close, but repairs have been completed. Please come and visit us. There was news on the official account of Demore Paradise.
見てみろ。もう復旧作業が終わったようだ。
Really? I peered at Shelby's phone screen, incredulous. Why are they using big words all of a sudden? Reports of flood damage were widespread, and they claimed that their efficient drainage system had resolved the issue.
ほとんど損傷もなく、スタッフも無事。今滞在中のお客様には安全に楽しんでいただけるようサービスを提供するとも書いてあるな。
That's impressive. The news of flooding was alarming, but they've already managed the water situation.
まあ見事なものだ。これがオマールホールディングスの手腕か。考えうる限りの災害への対応を事前にシミュレーションしてありそうだな。やはりこれではあの埋め立て計画は強行されるだろうな。
What to do? If they also cover up Dad's temple, they'll face far more serious consequences than more floods. Next on their list was the location of Dad's temple. If they ended up burying the Mars temple, I dreaded the extent of Dad's fury. We gazed through the crack in the curtains at the tempestuous sky. The storm was already strong, so what would happen if Dad's wrath was invoked?
神の怒りか。
Shelby mumbled to himself. He wasn't making light of the situation. His tone suggested a deep, unwavering belief in the existence of such divine fury. Counterattack. Oh my goodness. You know, I was in a stream with a YouTuber who did who read this and Cupid Parasite, and Cupid Parasite is one of her favorite Atomi games. And she was talking about Sweet and Spicy Darling. Oh, maybe I brought it up. I think I brought it up. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about getting it and reading it. And I was just wondering what you thought of it as a game. And she was like, you don't get this game for the fluffy and cute romance. You get this game because you like chaos and you like the unpredictability of it. Or just keep an open mind, she goes, because it seems like that while they were writing this game, that the screenwriters just decided to go off the road on this game and come up with completely random and absurd routes for half of these things. She was like, it just makes no sense. It's just like the writers just had a field day with it, and you're just left wondering, oh, what were they thinking? Having a war with the gods in the middle of Shelby's route. They're supposed to be worried about Omar Wedding and their company and stuff like that. I mean, I learned in the last game to expect the unexpected in Cupid Parasite, because Gil going up to Celestia and fighting Mars in a Transformer. Nothing's going to beat that, I don't think. So, anyway. I wonder what the counterattack is going to be. Is it going to be the humans counterattacking? That's what a counterattack is, right? It's not going to be Mars. They're going to take measures against Storm, is what I'm guessing. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.